Welcome back to the Form series. Today we're talking about arm mechanics again, but this time we're talking about sidearms. Disclaimer for this, the sidearm throw is very strenuous on the shoulder. It's very similar to a lot of other throwing motions in other sports, and there's a lot of history of injuries in the shoulder for baseball players, football players. So take that in mind when learning this throw. If there's any pain here, as always, we want to avoid that, but specifically be more aware of pain and discomfort when working on the sidearm throw. I personally don't throw a lot of sidearms. Today I'm going to use Andy to demonstrate a lot of the mechanics that we're going to be talking about.
All right, now so for grip for forehand, I put my thumb on the outside rim on the top of the disc, and then I hook my middle finger with my pad touching the rim of the disc in, and I kind of just rest the rest of the disc on my second to last finger, kind of just like as a holding place. And something you really want to keep in mind is, like, you know, there's different ways to grip the disc, but you always want to have one finger on the inside of the rim at least, and your thumb on top with like a slight pinch.
Some other things to note, there's a couple ways that you could grip it as well. Andy uses a pretty common 2 finger straight out. If you can get that pointer finger, index finger, also on the rim, that will help. I use kind of like a stacked grip where I pull my index finger back a little bit and then have my middle finger straightened out more. Like he was saying though, the real important thing is that you just have some leverage to kind of roll your fingers along the inside of the rim. And again, with the thumb, we want to be kind of using the thumb as a lever to pull the front edge down towards our fingertips instead of just kind of squeezing it in our hand. Okay. So we're going to talk about the motion of the throw first, and something that's kind of mysterious in the disc golf atmosphere yeah,
the world
is how the wrist is moving during the sidearm. There's a lot of talk about not letting your wrist roll over the top, and people insisting that you need to keep your palm up. I don't necessarily agree with that. We need the wrist to dip over the top to be able to transfer energy forcefully through our wrist. This is not a strong motion. This is a strong motion. Something to think about is dipping your hand into a cookie jar.
Yeah.
What else? Tapping someone on the shoulder. Slapping someone across the face. Again, we're not coming this way. I'm not karate chopping him, but I'm coming with my palm down.
Yeah, giving someone a good slap on the shoulder.
So to practice this first, most easily, because obviously this is kind of a downwards motion, so a way to practice this motion comfortably is to throw rollers on the ground. Give them a demonstration, Andy. Obviously a lot of spin there.
I probably can't see it.
Regardless, that is very ideal with how that motion is going. And you can kind of play around to try to throw the disc down onto the ground with different angles. Try to give them a little bit less over the top, more like cut into the ground.
Side. Okay, yeah. Oh, that was kind of a...
That was okay. Do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was better.
And this is a good tool for your game too. I mean, forehand rollers are one of the most necessary skills to learn for when you're in woods golf. Also, just sometimes good to get around a corner. So hopefully practicing kind of trying to throw the disc down in the ground, rolling it down in the ground helps. Again, if you're struggling, think about throwing a ball, think about slapping down, or like,
you can kind of think like a volleyball spike.
Yeah, there's a lot of different motions that are similar if you've played sports. Now, if you have no experience, hopefully this will kind of help. With the backhand, we talked about how you need to rotate your shoulder internally as we try to pull. With the sidearm, it's the exact opposite. We need to rotate our arm externally as we push. When Andy was doing the over-the-top throws and he was getting the discs down on the ground with kind of an angle, that's very similar to how you're throwing an Anheuser throw. To be able to get the disc flatter and eventually Anheuser, you might notice it's very difficult to keep your wrist coming over the top while swinging your arm up. This is when external rotation is extremely important. This is also important to limit shoulder injuries, but again, whenever we're trying to increase range of motion in our shoulder and we're applying force, this is when injuries can come into play. So again, be hesitant of how you feel.
Okay.
So Andy's gonna show you a throw where his shoulder is kind of neutral, and he's gonna try to flick the disc forward or slap the disc forward. And you'll notice that while the disc came out well and smoothly, it kind of came out wide from his body. We want to get the disc to release a little bit closer and further forward to get more power into the end of that snap. And you go ahead and show them what a throw looks like when we rotate our shoulder a little bit more externally. You can see that had a lot more velocity on it. Go ahead and show them another one. We can get some more air into it. There you go. In the backhand video, we talked about a drill about using a steering wheel or sliding your hand on a wall to feel internal rotation. We can do a similar drill for external. Instead of moving our hand counterclockwise, we should move our hand clockwise. And if you kind of allow your arm to travel behind you a little bit, you may feel some rotation and stretching in the back of your shoulder. Another motion that you can do is taking your arms at shoulder height and trying to touch your pinkies behind your back. Obviously, not really gonna happen. But again, you'll start to feel your chest open up. That's a good cue. And your shoulders pull back. And from this position is when we wanna swing forward. But again, trying to keep that pinky back as we swing forward and only letting our hand collapse over at the moment that we're throwing the disc, at the climax of the arm reaching the end of your motion.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a whole lot other to discuss. This is a pretty simple motion. Again, it's pretty natural when it comes to like throwing a ball. It's something that most people have probably done before, just not thought about it that way with the disc. Hopefully this video helped you think about throwing a sidearm in a new way and hopefully an easier way. Again, always watch the discomfort when throwing sidearms. Take it slow, practice the flick mainly. The wrist coming over the top smoothly will give you the most results in the end. See you in the next one.
That was pretty good.